Hello, everybody, and welcome to Revisiting Disney. This is the series in which you guys pick an attraction or part of the park or show every week, and I kind of play Imagineer for a day, and I talk about how I would refurbish it, how I would change it, how I would just be sort of the lead Imagineer. It doesn't necessarily mean I want to see that attraction change, or I hate that attraction, or I feel like there's a problem with it. It's usually just a fun, creative, like, game of what if, where you say, if you had to replace it with something else or refurbish it, how would you do it? And this is one that I've seen popped up and suggested multiple times, and it seems to be growing in numbers, the amount of people who suggest it, and that is DinoLand USA in the Animal Kingdom. What's interesting is it's not just Dinosaur or a specific part of DinoLand USA, it's just DinoLand USA as a whole. And when I thought about it and looked at the map, I realized that's probably the best way to approach it, because to revisit something like Primeval Whirl or the Triceratops, it's not enough, right? You need to do a complete retheme. Now, if you've never been to the Animal Kingdom, this part of the park is kind of interesting because you've got, your e-ticket attraction, which is Dinosaur right over here, back there somewhere. It's really exciting. It's a really top-class ride. And then the rest of this park is like kind of really lighthearted and carnival-esque, and it's the kind of part of a park that I think people either love or hate. It's kind of got this cheap carnival feel to it, and a lot of people like that about it, and a lot of people dislike about it. I kind of fall in the camp of people who do not really like it very much. Disney as a whole was meant to be a place that sort of stepped away from the carnival cliches, and so like building a part of the area that, just sort of buys into all of those cliches is not really my idea of a great time. You've got these attractions here that aren't heavily themed. Now, there is an in-universe story for it, right? Which is that, these people found all of these bones and they started building this institute, which is where Dinosaur is, and then they ended up building like this midway area. So, I mean, within the Disney realm, it still makes sense, but it's sort of not a theme that I really love. Now, what's interesting is Disney's kind of got their hands tied behind their back to the extent of how much they can theme this area, right? Because, the no-brainer in a magical world where intellectual property doesn't matter and rights don't matter, this would obviously just be Jurassic Park themed, and that'd be amazing, and that'd be great. However, Disney does not have those rights. That's not something you're really going to end up seeing ever happen with the Animal Kingdom. So, you don't want it to be Jurassic Park. You don't want it to look too similar to Jurassic Park, because then it just looks like you're ripping off Jurassic Park. But how do you build a part of a theme park about dinosaurs that doesn't, resemble the most famous concept of a theme park about dinosaurs? And to its credit, this idea, this sort of carnival aspect, really does a great job of not resembling in any way Jurassic Park or even reminding you of Jurassic Park. However, what would I do to change it? Here's the thing. So let's take a big picture look. I'm going to zoom up super high here. So here's DinoLand USA. There's Dinosaur. I would leave Dinosaur as is. I think Dinosaur is great. Maybe one day I'll do a revisiting Dinosaur, but for now, let's just leave that as is. Everything else in DinoLand USA, everything, the boneyard and all of this, get rid of it. Just gone. Just make it all gone and something else. Now, here's the idea. If we're going with the in-universe explanation, in Dinosaur, there is time travel technology. It exists. That's what you use to get on the Jeep and go back in time, and that's sort of how, you get back into the land of the dinosaurs. So it isn't a stretch to imagine time travel technology in this area within the sort of lore of the space. So what I would do is I would bank on that, I would expand on that, and I would make this entire area themed as if you're not in a theme park about dinosaurs, or you're not, in a carnival about dinosaurs where bones are, but you're actually in the past where dinosaurs are. And this is tricky, I guess, as far as theming goes, but I think the main brunt of the retheming would be heavily reforesting the area so it feels like you're in the jungle. And you'd have different things. So Dinosaur, the idea that Dinosaur is this building set up there to I don't know, test dinosaurs that, you bring in that are live dinosaurs. You can have areas that are, more educational. I like the idea of Disney being the sort of place where there's something for everybody of every age. It doesn't always have to be an exciting ride. It doesn't have to be a thrill ride. So, I love the idea of there being one like giant tent, like almost like the tent you'd see in a jungle, like one of those big tents where they have tables with maps on it and stuff. But, even bigger, that holds an audience that could have some sort of like really entertaining and funny film about dinosaurs. What comes to mind is the Jungle Cruise, that sort of feel and atmosphere, but dinosaur themed, that's humorous but also teaches you about it because you want it to be educational. This would be a great place for an attraction that works off of the Soarin' technology, but instead of like, say, flying around on a hang glider in California, you're flying around in the Jurassic period next to all of these flying dinosaurs. I'm sure I'm going to mix up which dinosaurs are in what period, but you get the idea. Put some more e-ticket attractions in here. I feel like these are just the sort of spillover attractions you hop on when you're done with Dinosaur or before Dinosaur, and I feel like there could be more to this land. I think that theming could be really exciting. I think, what's exciting about Disney World is this idea of immersing yourself somewhere else. And that, at least to me, is what really excites me. When I'm in Adventureland, the idea is I want to feel like I'm not in Florida, but I'm, in the jungle, or I'm somewhere else, or, I'm in Tomorrowland. I want to feel like I'm in the future. So, to walk into DinoLand USA as it is today, I feel like I'm in a sort of cheap theme park about dinosaurs, and that is where I really am at that time. I'm in this theme park that's themed on dinosaurs, so there's not a whole lot of immersion going on there. It does it well, but it's the same thing. But to walk into an area that would be like so heavily jungled with foliage and trees and all that stuff, and so much use of ambient sound, I think that's something Disney's fantastic at, that they should get more credit for, to make it feel like, maybe outside of these boundaries, if you got lost, you would actually be in the Jurassic period, and there are dinosaurs, and you'd hear the stomping, and maybe this just feels like, a base camp for some time travel expedition back in time where, all these dinosaurs are. And I don't have like specifics for other rides. I threw out the Soarin' thing, and I threw out, the tent idea, but, you'd have rides that are based on the idea that you're living with the dinosaurs now, not so much this, here's a carnival where dinosaurs used to be millions and millions of years ago, because that's what's exciting. We're excited about, the prospect of dinosaurs, not the prospect of dinosaur bones. We could go to a museum for that. We could see that in a museum. Here's where we want to see, even if it isn't real, an actual dinosaur. And that's why I think the highlight of this area is dinosaur rather than, these attractions over here. So, I mean, it's a kind of loose and very vague way to revisit the area, but I think with something like this, it requires such a massive change, and I think with such a massive change, you can't get too much into the details. Maybe one day I will sit down and just talk about what rides I would put where and just totally redesign the park from the ground up, but that's sort of the direction I would want to go in. Not Jurassic Park, not, we brought the dinosaurs to us, not this carnival stuff, but like we're back in time with the dinosaurs. This is like a jungle expedition in a dangerous area, and I think that would be so much fun. Anyway, if you think this idea is great, let me know in the comments below. If you think this idea is awful, also let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. You can also let me know on Twitter. I'm at RobPlays. If you have an idea for what you'd like me to revisit next, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I love hearing those ideas. That's sort of what that's what inspired this one for today's episode. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a great week. Whatever you're doing, make the most of it, because it makes it that much better. And I hope to see you all next time for the next episode of Revisiting Disney. Bye, everybody.